Today, I'm joined by two players on the University of the Pacific women's volleyball team, Riley Patterson and Sadeghi. Ladies, how are we both doing today?
Really good, thank you.
Now, with both of you, obviously,
doing well, thank you.
It's been a very crazy year for all student athletes across the country. You guys were obviously supposed to be playing in the fall of 2020, obviously due to the pandemic that hasn't been able to take place. But now we're starting to see a timeline being put together where games are hopefully going to be put on the schedule and being able to be competed by everyone involved. Now, as you both advance in the program, what do you guys set for goals for both of you heading into this season?
I think for me, mainly just to be positive about everything going on and to just go in with the mindset of like, I'm thankful that I get to play and just to use everything I have in me to like succeed in that manner and just be positive about this whole situation, basically.
How about you, Riley? Think she's frozen?
Yeah.
Here, let's just pause everything here. In 5, 4, 3, 2. Today, I'm joined by two players on the University of the Pacific women's volleyball team, Riley Patterson and Shahrzad Sadeghi. Ladies, how are we doing today?
Really good, thank you.
Yeah, doing well. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for being here. Now, you guys are both in your second and third year with the University of the Pacific. As you both advance in the program, what goals do you set for yourselves as returning players, knowing that this is going to be a weird season for all, and especially for the freshmen who haven't experienced a normal Division I season, let alone one in the middle of a pandemic?
So for me, I think just going in with a positive mindset and just knowing that we're going to work as hard as we can and that we're really grateful to even have this experience to play and just uplifting one another as much as possible during this like hard time where there's a lot of unknowns, and just knowing that as long as we work hard and we stick together as a team, we'll be successful no matter what.
For me, some of my goals are just to be positive like Sharzy. As a captain, just I want to lead by example and be there for my team in any way that I can. So, and just taking one step at a time this season, it's definitely going to be weird. So, just one step at a time and just know that we can't really control anything right now. So, just be positive in any situation that we're given.
And now, obviously, the schedule remains fluid because COVID instances pop up and various other factors go into it. But your season opener is rapidly approaching in some form or another, and it looks like it's going to happen hopefully within the next couple of weeks. Obviously, playing in the West Coast Conference, there's a lot of good programs. What kind of challenges does playing strictly the West Coast Conference schedule bring to you guys this year?
I think just like all the unknowns and not knowing whether we're going to walk into a game and it's going to get canceled because of a positive COVID case, and just that uncertainty in the air going into every game in a like a really tough conference like the WCC. I think that's probably for me the most challenging aspect, and just trying so hard to stay positive about the whole thing, and just knowing that no matter what happens, like we're still going to be ready for every opportunity that we have to play.
Yeah, I definitely think it's going to be weird that we could possibly have a game and then the last second it gets canceled. So I definitely think just being positive about the situation, and we are so grateful to be able to have a season and be able to play. So
now for you, Riley, entering this 2021 or what should have been the 2020 season, you were selected preseason all WCC after leading the conference in total kills and finishing second in total attacks. What have you been working on in the offseason to try to improve your game entering your third season with Pacific?
I think this summer I've been really focused to just be the best that I can be. My dad, he built a full basketball court and he put a little volleyball court on there for me. So I've definitely been out there working hard for it, but it's hard to be home and not be with a team constantly like working out and practicing. So it's definitely a mindset that I've had to work on just to keep working every single day, even some days when I don't want to.
That's pretty good dedication there. Shout out your dad for getting the volleyball and the basketball court set up so you can just find different ways to get outside and get some exercise. That's awesome. Now, Sharzi, for you, we talked about this a little bit before we went on. I know you recently had a paper published in the International Board of Orthodontics. What was the paper about, and what about the field of medical or dental healthcare mean to you, and what does that inspire you to do?
Yeah, well, I just recently published in the International Journal of Orthodontics, and it was definitely a long process, a whole year of just working with my team and formulating a study on temporomandibular joint disorder and a device that can help alleviate that disorder and strengthen the muscles that cause that disorder, which is caused by the muscles of the jaw. So basically, we just work, constantly on that paper and the study. And, being an athlete as well, it's been tough to balance, but I've did my best. And yeah, I just am very passionate about the field of medicine and dental, everything. So I've just been interacting with a lot of doctors in both fields and just trying to get as much knowledge as I can so I can put myself in an uncomfortable situation to make others comfortable in the future. So that's like my working goal.
Now, I think what I was reading earlier, you mentioned that it was something in the around sleep apnea caused by jaw tightness, and just I think a lot of people in the last year have maybe had sleeping issues, and maybe it's led to because there's so much tension just where we feel it in our jaw. Do you think that's something that's been especially prevalent lately?
Definitely. I feel like especially in these tough times, the cases of sleep apnea and TMJ are definitely increasing. And it has to do with stress and tightening the jaw muscles because, we get stressed, we automatically tense our whole body, and that includes the facial muscles as well. So I think taking those into account, and that's what my study basically focused on, taking into account the muscles that we tend to forget about, and just knowing how that could affect our whole body ailments as well, and everything with alignment and our focus as well, and yeah, just all of that.
That's really interesting stuff, and I'm glad you were digging into that. That's really cool. I really am intrigued by that. Now, Riley, I got a little inside information that you and your boyfriend built a tiny home in a van. What inspired that, and what's the story behind that? That sounds a little interesting to me.
Yeah, so I don't really know what inspired it, but I was just driving up the hill towards Pinecrest with my friend one day, and there was a van, and I was like, "Oh, that's pretty cool, like whatever." And I've always thought it'd be cool to build a little home in a van. So I told my boyfriend, I was like, "I saw this van, like blah blah blah," and he's like, "Don't be ridiculous, like that's a stupid idea, whatever." And I was like, "Whatever." So then I went and looked at it by myself, and I called the guy, and I was like, "Hey, like I'm interested in your van," and he was like, "Oh, here's the price, like $4,000, 4,500 or whatever." And I was like, "Can we negotiate price a little bit?" So I asked him come down on price. And so he went down a little bit on price, and then this whole summer we got it in um probably May or June, and then all of quarantine we just built it, and now it has a little bed and a kitchen area and everything. So it's really cool. So it was pretty fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we painted the entire outside, so it was a really long process, and it was pretty cool because I've never really built anything before. So it was fun learning how to build stuff because I don't really know about anything, and learning about a car too. I don't really know that stuff either. So it was cool learning how an engine works and everything. So it was definitely a learning process, but it was super cool.
That's awesome. I think a lot of people were looking for any kind of quarantine activities, and you found a whole new kind of home project. That's really interesting. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And now switching it back to volleyball for both of you, going through your bios on the website, it mentions how you both pride yourself on your individual and team defense. What in both of your views does it require as a team to have a strong defensive unit?
I think communication is key for defense and just going for every ball. I know Greg is always on us about diving and going and putting your body in whatever situation it needs to be in to get that ball up and get that touch in. So I think just having that mindset of diving for everything, going for everything, and working your hardest to help the team succeed is basically what we've been doing as a team and as defensive players.
Yeah, I definitely love defense, but one thing that I've always just been taught since I was young was always play like it's championship point. So that's kind of just always in my mind. if I don't go for a ball in defense, like, I don't know, maybe I could have gotten it up, you know? So if you don't go, then you don't know if you could get it. So it's definitely like very mental playing defense. You always just have to be ready and you always just have to go. So we definitely pride ourselves in that.
All right, ladies, one more question before I let you both go. And I thank you so much for your time. The long wait for games that actually count is almost here. Simply, what have you both missed the most about being on the volleyball court?
I think just like our team interactions, we're really close as a team, and just being with my, my teammates and winning points and just practicing and everything. I just miss it all. Like the interaction is the most, especially on the court during a game.
Yeah, you definitely can't like replicate the feeling of a game in practice really or anything. So I definitely miss like playing a game and like having those little nerves before a game and like going out there and playing with my team. So it's definitely just miss the team the most. Like it's so weird like practicing again and I'm like, oh, I forgot like how I played with this person and stuff. So it's definitely weird like not playing with your team. So I'm so excited to finally start playing with them.
Awesome. Thank you so much both for your time. It's been a lot of pleasure. It was a great conversation, and I hope you two both stay well, get back up to Stockton soon, and to hopefully see you both at the Alex G. Spanos Center competing really soon. My name is Alec Henden, alongside Riley Patterson and Shahrzad Sadeghi. Thank you so much for watching this week's episode of Earning Our Stripes.